hiring and firing and running a business in Europe. So we hear all these horror stories about, hey, listen, the people in the Netherlands and the people in Sweden and Norway, these are the happiest people on the planet.
Right.
But they take 2 years for maternity leave, men and women, and they get paid for it.
Right.
And you have to put a year of their salary in escrow. And if you want to fire them in France, if you want to fire somebody, it takes 3 months and you have to give them 17 warnings. How is it in Germany? Is Germany pro-entrepreneur, or is it pro-employee rights? Is it socialist? Is it, you know, what's it like to operate there? And what's the most frustrating thing?
Yeah.
No, I mean, in Europe, it's a very pro-worker
there's a stronger
and anti-entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's anti-entrepreneur.
I wouldn't say it's anti-entrepreneur, but there's more considerations. They take a lot of other parts of society into consideration as well. And in many cases, you know, sometimes that can be a bit frustrating. But I feel like, you know, whatever the specific legislation is there, like what's much more important is like what's the overall like atmosphere of the city, like what's the overall culture and what's the climate like, you know, what not the weather climate but the startup climate. That's much more important. Like you will figure out the other stuff, and for us Berlin is just this like really awesome place with a lot of creative people that are really into tech, that are kind of like, you know, counterculture type people who fit startups really well. So that's much more important for us. Then, you know, it does take a little bit longer time to hire somebody in Europe than in the US. Not so much because you're cautious about, oh, it's going to be really tricky to fire this person, just that, you know, people are locked into contracts that usually have, you know, 2 or 3 months notice periods rather than 2 weeks. And with the conversation with people here, it's like, oh, okay, you know, I can make this happen in 2 weeks. And you're like, oh, wow, excellent.
So does that mean, as an entrepreneur now with multiple locations, you've got to add 10 people?
Right.
And you can put these 10 people anywhere. Does it matter which of the 3 cities you operate? You're in New York, you're in Berlin, and you're in?
San Francisco, London, and Berlin. Mainly.
Okay, so you have 3 cities, 2 in Europe, 1 in the US.
Yeah.
And you got to add 10 positions. Let's just say there are 10 designers or 10, whatever, 10 cold callers on the phone, whatever, 10 support reps.
Right, yeah.
Where are you going to put your 10 support reps?
So it really, that would be in Berlin for sure.
Berlin at twice the price?
Twice the price of where?
The U.S.?
No, like Berlin is way cheaper.
Oh,
like
it is?
Engineers, like in Berlin, it's probably maybe like, you know, 30–40% of the cost of the valley. So it's like way cheaper.
What is it? 50,000 euros?
It's I don't know the exact figure, but it's
range
like,
for somebody.
But it's way cheaper than
40
here.
to 60 euro.
But what you can also do is like you can get people from the valley to move over to Berlin, and they will take a salary cut because the
quality of life is better.
Yeah, the quality of life.
What about work ethic? People in Berlin work 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week, or do they work 35 hours a week and they want to go to the park?
I would say that in Berlin, in general, it's really mixed. You have people that don't work at all, that are professional like club goers.
Really?
You have a lot of that. Yeah.
Okay. We have that in Los Angeles as well. Well, I mean, in Los Angeles, you can exist on $1,000 a month, literally. I mean, you can share a small apartment and get a Prius, and then or a Honda Fit, and you're done.
You can.
You've been watching This Week in Startups. To watch the full episode, click here. To check out some other shows from This Week In, click here.